All right, this is GADcast. You were just listening to the GADcast house band. Sorry, our last band got murdered in a tragic air balloon accident. So we had to get a new one, and they're pretty rough. My name is J.W. Hyde, signing in.
I'm Adam Harmless.
And I'm Andy Smith.
A lot has happened since the few days ago that we recorded our first podcast. We went to a show, Andy and I, last night in Boaz, Alabama, at Maggie's Doghouse. Yeah, shout out to Hayden Stewart for the show. It was pretty rad. Andy, do you have any thoughts on the show that you want to share?
It was pretty great. I liked it.
That was very good, very good. It was cool because Will opened up with his solo set, and his band is called Horse Girl, and it's just him, so it's not really a band. But
ooh, shots fired! Shots fired!
But he was very good, and he had this awesome setup and
fucking
great
around.
sound.
He doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
I really liked what he was wearing. He was wearing like a full suit, and the place was like really hot. So yeah, we felt really bad for him, but he looked awesome.
Yeah, he was sweating harder than Chris Farley in the van down by the river sketch, you know. But it was great, and he had a setup with like flowers on an end table, which we have buffalo chicken dip on our end table.
Delicious.
And it's pretty delicious. So if you hear any weird noises, just pretend it's that. So it was great. It was a great set. Unfortunately, Heel Turn could not be at the show, but we did get to see one of the members, who's also the singer of XY Spaces, do a stand-up comedy act, which was pretty entertaining. And
he's a pretty humorous dude.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah, Brady Lett. Yeah,
no, he's nice.
It was interesting, definitely.
XY Spaces played at GADFest 2, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. GADFest Part 2.
And when is GADFest Part 2 again?
GADFest Part 3
3
is going to be October 27th.
Oh, so they're okay,
they played at GADFest.
The previous one. Well, I missed that one, unfortunately.
They'll probably be playing at, I wouldn't be surprised. I think they're probably playing at Ghost Fest, which will be the same night.
Oh, Ghost Fest.
Brianna's Ghost.
Yeah, I went to the first Ghost Fest, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're very cool. She's very cool. I love all her work and everything, and all the bands. She covers a lot of the same bands we do.
Yeah, I've still got one of the shirts and a bunch of the stickers. Good stuff. Kyle Adams played his solo project, which I think is called Beach Goth Blues.
Yeah. And
it was a lot of fun. We got to sing Andrew Jackson Jihad along with him, and his solo work's pretty rad. And I don't really play favorites, so I'm not going to. But
they sucked equally. You heard it from Jesse.
Eyes on Lips played, and my favorite local band. They did very well.
So you don't play favorites, or?
I was joking. Yeah, it's joking, but yeah, they played very well last night.
But just last night.
Oh no!
Every other night they're terrible. You heard it here.
You heard it. Jesse said it. Wait, no, I mean that's not my name. But yeah. Yeah.
JC.
Jesus Christ. Maybe.
What does the JW stand for?
JW, it's because I have such reverence for President George W. Bush. Right, because he started that awesome war in Iraq.
He's just copying his dad. I mean, please, anybody just do what their dad does.
Yeah.
Become president and start a war in the desert.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Political commentary.
Everybody loves a sequel.
Yeah, So I don't know. My middle name's William, so I went with W. I thought it was fun. But yeah, that was it's a good show last night. But it was a terrible war in Iraq. So
that's why we didn't invite it to the show.
But that's pretty much it on the show. I don't know. Are there any more shows coming up that you guys know about?
There's tons of shows, and I should have written them down.
Comment on the YouTube page. What shows are coming up?
I don't go to like many shows, but like after going last night, I really need to start going more.
Yeah, I kidnapped Andy.
Amazing, like the atmosphere there. I mean, it was so hot, but still is fun. So we need to start going to more shows.
It's all a
for
fever
sure.
dream.
Definitely. Yeah, I actually had to hit him in the back of the head with like a Harlequin mallet and just drag him to the show. But it was awesome. It was great to see everybody. Okay.
Here's one. I got a big show to mention.
Go for it.
X is playing at Low Mill
What?
on September 7th.
No way.
Yes, X.
That's huge.
Yes, and it's very important. The tickets are selling fast, so if you're going to buy a ticket, you need to go online and order a ticket.
Okay, well, I need to order a
You
ticket
need to
then.
do it. Yes, the Go-Go Killers, of course, will be playing there with them.
That's awesome.
Their drummer, Michael, used to be playing in X2, so there
That's
you go.
cool. X2, like X-Men.
X as well, not X2.
United.
Nobody wanted to play at X2. How about this? Nobody was playing in X2. They were serious.
It was the best X-Men film. But I
But
digress.
that's just, that's for an X-Men.
Yeah, Low Mill is actually one of my favorite venues. I've seen a lot of cool things there. Happening Fest used to be there, and they had free craft beer and free veggie and non-veggie dogs. So all day, and Mean Jeans headlined, and that was amazing because they're one of my favorite cheesy Ramones cover type bands. So that was awesome.
Nice.
Andy, I heard from this possible bullet list that we have that you're in a band called the Andies.
Yes, I think I talked about that a little bit on the last episode.
Where did
So,
the name come from?
name may have come from my name, possibly. But
Well,
that
I guess
wasn't.
you couldn't call it the Smiths.
Yeah, that was already taken. It wasn't really my idea to call the band the Andies because I don't have that big of an ego. I mean, it's up there, but it was really I think it was my brother's idea to call us the Andies, and I guess we couldn't really come up with a better name at the time, so we kind of rolled with it.
Who all's in it?
Yeah, so we had, of course, me on guitar and vocals, and Austin Johnson on bass.
Sweet
Tommy
silky
Wilkinson played trumpet. My brother was in the band as well. He played trumpet. Isaac Harris was the drummer. And then we had Dylan Cannell, or Dylan Brickhouse now, playing trombone. And originally we had Noah Sauls. He also played lead guitar with us. And he left the band. And for a while I was the only guitar player. Eventually we had Peyton Stewart come in and play guitar with us as well. So
Nice. You sounds like you had almost as many members as Tiger's Helicides.
yeah, we had a lot of members come through. But,
That's a tough one.
Yeah, we played mostly like ska, reggae type stuff, and we did a little bit of rock and just kind of had a very unique sound, I guess. But
What are some of your best memories from the shows that you played?
we played at Andies Music a lot, which was cool because it was always the Andies at Andies.
Andies. And your name's Andy.
I always
Yeah.
wondered if there was a connection back in the day.
Yeah,
before I knew
but
you.
it was just a
Before I knew you were-
coincidence.
yeah.
Because just Andies and Southside, Andies Music there, and so I didn't really know.
R.I.P.
Yeah, but those were always fun shows. So I enjoyed playing with all the local bands out there. Let's see. I enjoyed playing. We put this one show at the Firehouse in Birmingham, which was really cool.
I've heard good things about the Firehouse.
Yeah, I left all of the old Andies T-shirts there. So if you still have like an Andies T-shirt, those are pretty unique now because I don't have any more. I've got like mine. So
You can probably sell them for a high Bitcoin price.
yeah.
Yes.
But we played with a lot of cool bands, a lot of cool ska bands that we got to come from out of state,
Cool.
from other places like Survey Says.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was very
says.
cool. Yeah, most people don't think of most people don't think Alabama and ska. And I mean, I know there is plenty of ska bands in Alabama, but
I'm sure there's been like a Scalabama,
there has to be. Yeah.
compilation at some point.
Has to have been.
But yeah, Survey Says, they were. We got to open up for their lead singer. He played a solo set.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
Tiger House, I did a show with them.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. And Shut Up Travis, they're from Montgomery. They're very good.
And Blame Sydney, we got to play a show with them. They're old ska band. They broke up a few years back, but
Bastards.
they were they were a really cool ska band from Auburn, and it was really neat to play with them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the punk scene in Auburn is interesting because like I never got to see any glimpse of that. So.
No, they've had such amazing stuff going on in Auburn. That's something I have no clue hardly about what's going on there now, but they have a pretty rich history for having like great acts coming out there and playing and stuff. We gotta get some folks on here to talk about it.
That'd be awesome.
Because I don't know shit.
No,
but we get somebody else who knows some shit. Because I'm gonna be like, some guy told me. I heard through the grapevine.
Yeah, because we used to just like go to Coyotes and just dance to really bad rap music, and that's what we did.
So rap music.
Yeah. Run the Jewels is awesome. I don't know any. It's, you know.
Fight.
But yeah, anything else you'd like to say about the Andies there, Andy? Maybe playing at Andies?
When's the reunion?
Yeah, I've talked to some of the guys about having a reunion show, and so hopefully maybe that'll happen one day. I would love to do it, but I haven't talked to all the guys, so yeah.
Get on it.
Yeah.
Call them now. So, we talked about the Andies. You mentioned them last time. So that got my brain a-percolating because we mentioned RUSHPUNK, and Jesse talked a little bit. I wanted to ask, because I know nothing about RUSHPUNK. I know absolutely nothing. And I mean, I don't know how much there is to know, because probably wasn't around very long, but I know zilch, nothing. So tell me something.
It was a great story, actually, because like I just had class with Wes Reed, and he just happened to be like, hey, you like punk, I heard. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I was like, what kind of band do you want to start? Because he said he wanted to start a band. And he's like, you ever heard the Germs? And I was like, oh shit. And so I just instantly started like trying to, you know, like play 80s hardcore, which was like hard for me. I still can't play the Chorus to Manimal, which was the first thing he wanted to play. But the best thing about it is my roommate was asleep the first time he came over. He just walks in the apartment and he's like, do you have anywhere I can heat this up? And it was a Hot Pocket. And so he heated up the Hot Pocket, plugged in an amp, and then just started screaming like Darby Crash in the living room. And so I just plugged in my amp and was like blasting it. And then my roommate just comes out like super pissed, and it was great.
Pissed off roommate. That's how you know it's good stuff.
I know, yeah. He was just like, what are you guys doing? And without a drummer, like the Germ sounds like hilarious. But so from that, we ended up getting with Brandon, and then Cody Jackson, we ended up getting up with him, and we started practicing at Brad Norris's garage, which was it was a lot of fun. We couldn't think of a name forever, and Brandon is usually the cornerstone of every band I'm in because I know how to play like 3 chords and I don't have any imagination. So like, you know, he would come up with all the cool like bass runs. He'd be like, hey, can you play this on guitar maybe, you know? And so they were like, it sounds like he's playing like Rush, like Geddy Lee stuff, but like punk. So we coined the term RUSHPUNK.
RUSHPUNK.
And we never got to play a show.
That's
ever.
weird.
But we have some really bad recordings, and if you Google it, I think it's all one word, all caps, and I think it's got an exclamation point, because everything cool has an exclamation point after it.
True!
Or a question mark if you're the band skeptic.
True.
But...
True.
Oh, yeah, another interesting thing, both Jesse and Adam are wearing Skeptic shirts right now. So
Yeah, Skeptic from Birmingham. Skeptic with a question mark. Great guys, amazing shows.
Fantastic band. I got to see him open up for the Coffin Cats. Apparently Adam was playing a show down the road at the time.
Yeah.
And I missed that.
Yeah, I was giving out free Skeptic records at my show while they were playing a show. So, because that's the kind of great friend I am. So you can always count on me.
Yeah, RUSHPUNK was a pretty weird project. Basically, we were really mad at the time, Wes and I. We just wanted to be really sarcastic and just biting towards like all like Southern aristocracy, like fraternities, like the whole Greek system, the whole like socio like economic like warfare that was going on. So a lot of the songs dealt with that. But then it turns out like our best song that we ever wrote was just about him, I think, moving but it had like a killer guitar part and bass part and drum part. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Excellent. I always thought it was interesting that you guys had the punk in there, because there are other bands that have punk or punks in their name, but they very rarely have anything to do with punk rock, like surf punks or Daft Punk or whatever, and it's.
Yeah, everybody was like, the first rule of punk is you don't put punk in the name of your punk band, and I was like, yeah, no, like
we're breaking all the rules.
Yeah, so,
fuck your rules.
It's like, but RUSHPUNK had already stuck at that point.
My name is Punky Rotten.
Yeah, and I kept trying to think of names. I'm like, how about Butt Chug? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, how about, I don't know. But I've always wanted to start like a 80s hardcore type band called Judge Roy Bohr. If anybody's down, hit me up. Like, I mean, there's plenty of stuff to go on right now. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Epic. All right, let's go home. Nope. We're still talking.
We might have more.
Oh, holy shit. Pass the paper.
The Mostly Harmless?
The Mostly Harmless?
Talk
about bands with question marks.
Oh.
That was my first band.
Nice. Okay. See, knowledge right there.
Yeah. So I'm named after my first band. Not my first band named after me. Now it looks like some kind of ego thing. Like, it was Mostly Harmless, did everything.
Mm-hmm.
But we were... Back then, it was less lame to name yourself after a Douglas Adams thing. Like, now it's just like, that's cute, that's nice. But, because lots of times people are like, I read a book.
Yes.
And so that's it. I read this book, so now I'm named after this book.
It works so well, though. Like, Mostly Harmless. I mean, it's like kind of like Minor Threat.
Yeah.
And I like that.
It worked that. So we were, this was when I was still living in Pell City when I was starting it. And I guess I'd come out to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
But my friends from Pell City ended up... So basically, I had friends in high school, but they didn't join a band with me until after I left. So then we'd get together. So it's my friend Kevin Oliver, who became Ash Nagasaki. And we had Ansel Hollis, who became Ansel Oyster. And then we had Oyster. See, like you were talking about punk? Putting "oi" in a name is horrible, so he became Oyster.
Oh,
because he always wanted to have a band called Spiky and the Oysters. That was the name of his dog. His dog was Spiky. Spike, so it's gonna be Spiky and the Oysters, which is much better than the Mostly Harmless for a name. But
I don't know. I like this.
So there was another like kind of college act that was just called Mostly Harmless, but at least I had the and question mark, so that kept me from our band from getting confused with theirs. But they're from like another state. So
kind of like there's another GAD cast, and don't listen to them.
Yeah, don't mention the other GAD cast.
We don't want to.
Jerry, Andrew, and Derek, we're coming after you guys. We'll see you in the Octagon.
Not GAD is not to be confused with DAG. That's David Allen Greer. Completely different.
Oh,
Still
man.
Our competition though.
Yes.
You better watch out.
David Allen Greer.
Watch out, David Allen Greer. Yeah. We don't take to your brand of comedy. In these punk rock parts.
It's too family oriented.
Fuck yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about Mostly Harmless?
We were around for a while. The reason why I think it's worth mentioning is some people called us an influence, but our influence was that we did it even though we shouldn't have. Like, you say you couldn't play, but I'm talking about the Mostly Harmless. Most of the time they were around, were not as good as this shitty ass house band that we have here. Like, they were terrible. So what we did was, I always wanted to play everything super fast. I was like, I want to play fast. We had Ash Nagasaki. He's like 7 feet tall, and he liked to play like slow ass bass, like doom, doom, goth type stuff. Ansel, like I said, he's Ansel Oyster. Later became Super Donut. They changed the stage name. We also had later on we had a second guitarist. We called him I can't remember. His name was Daniel, because I called him Old Dan Yeller. And then people said, you can't call him that. So I called him Sid Delicious.
Sid Delicious.
So we
is
just
a great name.
Shitty names. So that's what we did have a keyboardist for like one day. His name was Bob 12.
Oh.
And so, but we were just terrible. I mean, we were like so hideously awful, but we encouraged people because people would see us playing. Now, I will say this, we were the best looking band. We looked awesome. You'd see us and be like, these guys are the real deal. And then we'd play and be like, those guys are too real. I don't like this.
Oh yeah, there was a show like we played with the Screaming Cogs, and it still cracks me up because I had no idea how to play guitar, but I was wearing this like ridiculous fedora because I'd apparently just seen like the Rancid video, like Time Bomb, and I was rocking an Op Ivy shirt with ripped up jeans, you know, but I could barely play like 3 chords. Looks matter, you know. Apparently,
that's all that matters. But we were trying to start a zine back then, and we never could make it work. Like it was going to be horrible. I had these like super bad, pretentious ideas. This is like the beginning of college, and I was just like I was above stuff, but I was clueless at things. I wanted to be political, but I had no idea really what I thought politically. And I was trying to be. I already do shit over the top anyway. I love hyperbole.
Oh yes,
that's spelled hyperbole.
It is.
But I love it.
I mainly speak in hyperbole, and it's not just because I'm a high energy person. It's also because I'm bad at math. Yeah. So I'm like, that was the best movie I've ever seen. So I don't have to rate it at all if it's the best. If they're all the best, then they're all. When I review stuff, I don't give any stars. But our attempt at a zine, I wanted to start a zine called American Vetum or Vetum. Now, this is how highfalutin I was. Okay, Vetum was inspired by a little homemade magazine that children in a concentration camp had in World War II. And they kept that, and they would hide it, and they'd make one issue, and everybody would read it. And I thought that story really touched me. That's the coolest thing I've heard in a long time.
But what would have been the most uncool thing would have been when these whiny Alabama boys start trying to make it and connect that to it. So in my head, I'm like, this is a tribute to them. Mm-hmm. But really, it was just going to be like, how lame and pretentious can you be, and insulting to that. And it was bad. Like I was making collage work for it, and I found like an image of like Hitler and Nazi youth, and I put like Mickey Mouse ears on it. Like it was some like stuff that might have been cute in the late 70s, early 80s. Like, yeah, see, Disney's like Hitler, but it's just like.
So what is the Walt Disney Hitler correlation? Like, is that a real thing? Because
yeah,
it says it's a real thing.
I don't know how far it goes because I've tried to read different things about it. But there was a time prior to World War II where there was a whole lot of people who thought Nazis were chic. They liked some of the stuff that Hitler was talking about, and a lot of people were blaming stuff on Jews, blaming stuff on everything else. I mean, Charlie Chaplin famously spoke out against it. The Three Stooges spoke out against it. They had the you nasty spy, you know, where Moe ends up making himself look like Hitler, but that's them. Like they were trying to fight it, but there were other people who just seemed like first of all, most people didn't know, especially in America, didn't know about the concentration. He didn't have the concentration camps yet, and people always love a good scapegoat.
Yes, they do.
Yes. So that's how it went. So there were a lot of stars just from that era who later, a lot of them changed their mind. Now, somebody who was very much pro-Nazi for a long time was Ford. You know, the president. No, the car maker.
Really? Like Henry?
Yeah, Henry Ford. Straight up. Henry Ford is referenced in Mein Kampf.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
so crazy. Everybody needs to go read Mein Kampf right now. No, don't read you don't need to read Mein Kampf, but
it's really boring.
But I assure you, but he's mentioned it, and Hitler was a big fan of Ford, and Ford was a fan of Hitler.
Yeah.
And there were Ford factories in Germany that had slave labor.
Oh, wow.
So, about this punk rock podcast.
They were, sorry, I didn't even know that. You just opened the gates of Ford.
Ford is a shitty company anyway. Don't buy their trucks, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, is there anything else you'd like to add about Mostly Harmless?
It really, like, literally, people did refer to us as being influential just because we did that. Like, we weren't influential. Nobody ever wanted to sound like us. But if you had a bad moment, if you had a string break on stage, you just pull a Mostly Harmless. Yeah. And you just keep playing.
Yeah, it would really crack me up because people would come up to me and they'd be like, hey, you guys like kind of inspired us to be a band. And I would be like, you guys released a lot more music than us and have done a lot more shows and been a lot more successful,
But so just somebody doing it. And honestly, that's kind of I mean, that goes back to the story of the Ramones and the Sex Pistols. Some people saw the epic shows and thought, oh, those bands are so amazing, I want to be like them, whatever. Then other people saw them, they're like, that's it? That's all there is to it? They just did that. I'd read all this crazy shit, and that's all they're doing? It's like, well, I could do that. And then they did it.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, GAD 18, is it finished? Or what do you have to say about that?
Nowhere near finished.
Cool.
So I have a lot of work to do. I put that on our list of things to maybe talk about because I was hoping I'd have more done. But I'm still writing. I'm working on about 22 reviews. I'm hoping somebody else will write a review.
I was gonna say
things before I work on it.
We might know people who could, and there could be people that write in that could possibly help us with that.
Yeah, I mean that's usually we just want people to write especially if it's local or semi-local, and it touches you in some way. I would love for you to write for us. We'll give you credit. We won't pay anything because none of us are getting paid. Yeah, this is a money losing operation. Yeah. That's why we have the GADFest stuff. So it's pure negative profit. Like GADFest. See, GADFest last year was in the summer. I think I want to say it was June.
I'm sure those funds lasted you all year, didn't
well,
they?
we made a pretty good bit of money.
That's cool.
And I got probably about a year's worth of money.
Really?
To cover it for a year.
And you actually know how
but
to
it's been more than a year. so I'm starting to feel the crunch. I mean, we still have people who donate and everything, so I'm not suffering that much. And that's been a nice evolution. I don't mind putting in money, but it's really nice to have other people work on it and support it. It's just like, oh, thank goodness, I get to eat.
So you're the only one writing on this issue?
No, other people writing. Cool. Selena Brilla's already written some stuff.
Nice.
I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama Sharp writes something. He usually does, I'm sure.
Cool.
Jackson AD he writes for us regularly. Kevin Spann, he's written for. Me and Kevin Spann are the only ones who have written every single issue.
Kevin's like one of my favorite people on the planet.
Yeah, we're going to get him on the show.
Awesome.
And he interviewed me for his podcast thing, like a long time ago.
Really? What was his podcast?
It was his No Pants Productions stuff.
Oh, yeah, the No Pants Production. Awesome. Yeah, it would be great to have Kevin on here.
But yeah, he's actually written for every single issue. That's why if anybody asks me who founded the zine, I'll say Adam Harmless, Colby Leak, and Kevin Spann, because Kevin Spann was in that first issue. He was the only other person who came in and wrote something. There's a whole lot of people saying I'm gonna write something, but again, like I said before, it was a fantasy to people. They didn't think it was gonna happen, so it never happened. So me, Colby, and Kevin were the only ones who wrote anything the first issue. Now Selena has written everything, in every issue since 2. So 2 all the way up through 18. Because she's already turned in stuff for 18, so I know she's in 18 also. So
sweet.
2 through 18, she's been in every single one of them. She's written poetry and she's written reviews.
Awesome. That's fantastic. We might have her on sometime.
Yeah, definitely. I've already talked to her about it.
Cool.
We need to get Sharp on. We need to get a lot of people on.
Anybody? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little list in my phone.
Sweet. Yeah, you can gather around our nacho plate and our end table and our condenser mic.
We will share nachos with you. But you'll have to put your fingers in the dip. That's the problem.
Yeah,
it's the price of admission.
Yeah, the double dip.
Yeah.
Brian Burke's art.
Yes, I put that on there because somehow we didn't mention Brian Burke's in the last episode. Yet I feel like I'm talking about him constantly because he's a very, very, very prolific artist. And if this was a video podcast, I'd show a bunch of his stuff, and then I'd be like, "See, you've seen it before." But he did the cover of issue 17, that really cool cover that everybody's been loving.
Cool.
And he's been so busy, like literally. And I didn't mean to do this, but if you look in the issue where he did the cover, there's reviews of 3 different groups that he did the cover art for. And it's just like there's even one page where it has the murder of Jane Crow, and he did the art for their cover, and Random Conflict's latest. It had their cover, which both of those are fantastic for completely different reasons, but you should check out both of those albums. But yeah, and then he also did the artwork for the McRiots And
Cool. I haven't heard them cry.
they're really good, like good horror punk.
Let's see. We got the Dirty Swagger and the Fem.
Yeah, that's a new band.
Cool. Where are they based out of?
I haven't actually heard them yet,
Oh.
so that's just on my list to check them out. But their pedigree is fantastic, so that's the thing.
Cool.
Like I love the Dirty Swagger is fantastic. If you haven't heard the Dirty Swagger, they're from Muscle Shoals, and
that's a good area for music.
yeah, Brad Blade Osborne, the singer guitarist, he is literally up there as one of the best showmen I've ever seen. Like playing guitar, acting crazy on stage, just being a lot of fun. So it's pretty.
Cool. I wonder if they'll be playing any shows around here. We can actually check out.
I'm sure they're gonna be playing tons in like Huntsville.
Okay, that's good. I gotta make it to Huntsville more.
Yes, and Film is sort of a combination of them and of him from Dirty Swagger and Bad Susan, which was like, it was a band I always called Sass Punk. That's what I called them. But they were fantastic. Like they were just like fun and loud, and they just kind of sang about, I don't know, just kind of sang about life, but it's just good sing along punk rock girl vocals.
That sounds awesome.
And I mean, they were epic. I mean, I'm saying epic a lot this episode. It's like you saying awesome.
Yeah, I literally just I think I've done it tonight too.
Yeah, that's not awesome. Cool. But yeah, so I wanted to mention them.
Okay, one of our bullet points of this list that doesn't exist is parents just don't understand.
They don't.
So, Andy, when you first got into punk rock, did your parents really know what was going on at first?
What do you mean? Did they?
We're like, oh god, our son's a loser.
Anything wise, like share about like your early punk days and like, because I know Jesse was already friends with a lot of punk bands.
I mean, he kind of led the way for that. I mean, so he was already into punk rock, and he took me to my first show, which was the Reagans and some other band called Buckshore Bridges Drowning, and they were pretty bad, but the Reagans were awesome. And
whoa, throwing shade.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
So like listening to the Reagans, that's what seeing them live. That's what got me into punk to begin with, and I guess like before this was like pre-Andies, I kind of started listening to like ska and really punk, and I wanted to have like a ska punk band. So it was like me and Austin Johnson, who was later in the Andies, and Elliot Russo, and I think Stephen Wills. We kind of had a band. I think we called ourselves the Anarchists.
Yes, I remember you telling me about that, specifically in the camper when we were in Tuscaloosa one day.
Yeah, we just kind of just played around, but I don't think we ever really played a show or anything. I think one time we did, we rented out the Rainbow City Community Center. And
that's pretty awesome.
So I don't know if that's really like a show, but we kind of like played for our families and
Hardcore.
some friends.
Yeah, I mean, if you rent out a community center, I think it counts as a show.
Yeah, I guess so. It was fun. I remember specifically played some AC/DC song, and Hal Ray got up on stage and started singing. Okay, it was we started playing TNT, and he sang Back in Black. It was hilarious.
Well, that's how interchangeable a lot of the AC/DC songs are. Says the guy who's like Ramones is one of their favorite bands. But like, that's awesome. And did you guys actually cover Nancy Reagan? Because I remember you guys were talking about covering.
Yeah, we were like just. I mean, at least I was just like a huge Reagan's fan. Like I was just like a fanboy.
I still have my Reagan shirt too.
So I just wanted to like cover all the Reagan songs.
It is nice that you had like, you know, your parents kind of got it. With me, it was pretty smooth transition with me. Like, but I do know like when it got to the emo phase and all my friends were like wearing girls jeans, my mom was like, You do like girls, don't you? And I was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, and I can't fit into the girls' pants because I don't know what size I'm supposed to buy, you know. So that was like the interesting moment. But then like later on, I just remember doing a class project where I had like the classic Alex Ross, like George Bush as a vampire sucking the blood out of the Statue of Liberty. and I put that on my poster board for like things that are important to me, and which was also art and politics. And she like cried. So, but looking back, I don't think she would do that. She's changed a lot since then. So that was probably the roughest story as far as like the whole punk thing goes.
Yeah. Yeah. See, my parents they didn't like the music. I don't think particularly. Like, I mean, they were more
Not like they do now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But I mean, they were just glad that I was doing something. They were glad that I was into music and stuff and being productive and not just going out and they were pretty supportive of it.
Yeah, my parents have been supportive of it too. So they were pretty stoked. I think they showed up to a few of our shows actually. And even if I did happen to, not like females, I know she would have supported me.
Yeah, my parents, they never got it. My dad hated my punk rock jacket. He hated that because I had everything stuck on there. I was one of those guys, I'd buy like a thing of safety pins and just cover my jacket in it. And there was stupid shit at the school, so my dad was concerned about both my parents would be concerned about us. Like, see, my dad always dressed unusual and stuff, and he'd always fight. He'd dress crazy, he'd get into stuff and just dress how he wanted to. And so he kind of knew what that was like. And because he was like, he went to like big hippie festivals and stuff like that. He was a narc, but he went to and he loved all that stuff. Like, it got kind of rough in my school. I was going to high school when grunge was coming in. And so it got easier with like other kids because a lot of kids were into because it got popular. And we had teachers that would pick on the kids for wearing flannel shirts and not buttoning them up and tucking them in. And they would force them to tuck in their flannel shirts. Crazy shit like that.
Yes.
But we couldn't have, there was no coloring in the hair, so I would put peroxide in the side of my hair so it'd still be a natural color, but it just didn't match. But my parents, they didn't, like I told you, my friend Ash Nagasaki, he wore safety pins on his clothes. I didn't know him at the time. He was a year behind me. I didn't really know him that well. I knew of him, but I didn't know him that well. And some girl asked him, I guess it was a girl, I thought it was a girl, the story he told, why am I picking on women? Jesse, why do you hate women? Jay, why do you hate women? What he did, though, is he was wearing safety pins, and somebody asked him, like, why you wear all those safety pins? He had no clue. He wasn't a punk rocker. Oh. He was just, I want to dress crazy. He had no clue. Kind of like he shaved his eyebrows off, and they were like, oh, like in Pink Floyd The Wall. He's like, what? He was just an individual. And he said these represent the souls that I've taken. And
okay, that's the
best
answer.
They're like, hey, damn devil worshiper, souls. So I'm like walking around the school with safety pins on my jacket, and somebody's walking over. They're like, "What's that? Was that supposed to be my soul?" And I'm like looking at them like, "No, it's a safety pin. What are you talking? You got a bunch of souls on your jacket." It's like, what? No, safety pins. They're for hitting things safely, I guess. But I never knew what that was about, and they did that. So they banned safety pins from my school that year. Wow. So that just turned into, I could still wear tons of buttons, and I just wore 1,000 buttons. But he switched over to wearing paper clips.
And
they were okay with that. Then it just turned into paper clips.
I was hoping that
paper clips were souls then. But he still got to wear them. But anyway, so my parents, they never got it. There wasn't that many punk rockers in the school anyway. But like there was Ansel's brother Jason. Later on, Ansel was there. Obviously, he's a couple years behind me. They were into punk rock, but I didn't even feel like I was a part of that bunch because I remember people saying that me and my friend Ivan, like, we weren't punks. They were like, y'all aren't punks. And they said, Ivan's a punk ass. But we're not. But we weren't. But it's just because I didn't fit in with even that. Like, I couldn't even fit in with punk rockers. That's when somebody says, like, Adam's a punk rocker. I'm like, I make for a very poor punk rocker. But I like to wear my hair in my front. Like, I had like a wall of hair that blocked my face. And the rest of my hair short. My parents hated that. They despised that. It killed them that I had that. So I got a low grade in something. For some reason, they thought I might have to go to summer school. There was no way I was going to have to go to summer school. Maybe they're as bad at math as I am. But so I did fine. Like, the rest of my grades were like mediocre to fine. So, you know, because what it was, I was great at some stuff and not great at others. But they took that as an opportunity to make me cut off my hair. Like, you got to cut your hair. Like, it's punishment.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. And they're like, we'll take you to a nice place to do it. And I was like, no, fuck you. I'm going to cut my hair myself.
Yeah.
You're going to be like that. So I just cut my hair. And they're like, no, you don't have to. We'll get it done nice. No, fuck that. So I cut my hair. And what I did is I didn't even listen to the Misfits then. But I basically cut off all the hair except for like a devil lock in the front. So I had this little hair in the front. And I could comb it back and like kind of hide it behind my ear. My hair was thicker back then in the front. So I could do that. Which is probably why my hair is thinner now, because I used to do crazy shit to it. So I just combed it back like that. So they were like, oh, don't you feel so much better? You look so nice now. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. And then I just go to school and shake out the little devil lock. I don't know. We did weird. Like I had, me and Ivan tried to make our own spike bracelets with screws.
Oh yeah.
We found out that didn't work out very well in a crowded hallway at school. See somebody be walking by and they're like, ah! And it's just like, uh-oh. And it's kind of like slowly put your hand inside your coat, like, I don't know.
It kind of makes me like appreciate that I grew up in the time period that I did. Like people were always saying like, oh, I was born in the wrong decade or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if you think about like how much more conservative, like or whatever people were back. You know, 40 or 50 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, even like if you just go back in punk rock, like I'm complaining, like, man, they sure were mean to me doing punk rock stuff in the 90s. And it's like, okay, talk to the guys in like the early 80s.
Yeah.
Talk about the shit they were going through, you know.
Did you ever get like any shit after Columbine happened? The way you dressed?
Here's the thing. Before I started wearing the punk clothes, I wore trench coats. I wore a trench coat and I had a little brooch that came from my mom, but it looked kind of like an iron cross. People thought I was a gang leader. And so me and Ivan both had our trench coats. And I graduated. So I was out of school before Columbine happened. Okay. But I think my brother and Ansel were still there, and they started wearing trench coats. So I can't remember where it all lines up with that. But people were kind of mean to my brother with stuff like that, but I don't know. His class was a bunch of asses anyway. My brother's class was all mean. I was a junior when they were freshmen, and it was the kids in my brother's class that tried to pick on me and try to start shit. Yeah. And I'd be like, get away from me, little person. Why are you doing this? You know, they try to punch me or something. You know, just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like I remember being cornered like in the bathroom by like a football player in high school, and it's just funny to think about because he was just like, "Why do you wear black all the time?"
Yeah,
and I was like, because I like music, and most of the bands that I listen to only put out black T-shirts.
Yeah.
But really, half of the reason was black shows sweat stains way less.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm a nervous sweater like crazy. There's sweat stains all the way down the sleeveless shirt, if that, tells you anything.
We had a lot of that stuff. We had a principal who, this is funny, before he'd been I'm making quotation symbols with my fingers right now. He was the cool principal. Everybody thought he was awesome. He got the local, like, rock band, Chew Toy, to play in the auditorium, and they were cool guys. They were nice.
Okay, but they sound like an '80s hair metal band. They weren't.
They were all right. Well, they may have done a few covers, but I'm saying, but so he was this guy who, like, he's easygoing, seems kind of reasonable, but he liked the metalhead. Seemed like he was okay with them. So like me and Ivan, we were walking around wearing trench coats. Never gave us problems. Ivan had long hair, had no problems with him. Right. The second the punk rock jackets came on, he was like, we got to stop this. And he was a terror. We had you know how you have like the week leading up to homecoming. They have different days where you dress up and stuff. We had Rockstar Day. Okay? Yes. We had people walking around in full Kiss makeup. Okay? I happened to be in the bathroom. This is crazy. I walked into the bathroom as he was in the bathroom making my brother wash out the red coloring from his hair because my brother came dressed as Johnny Rotten.
Oh, wow.
And he said, you can't have color in your hair because that's a disruption.
But facial makeup.
Yeah, but the full facial makeup wasn't a problem. So, but the thing is, he went after grunge. He didn't understand any of that stuff. He was just ridiculous.
It was probably because he listened to Kiss, so he identified with
Kiss. That's what it was. He identified.
And so he's like, this is new and different to me.
But
so
then like, Ivan didn't help things because like I had stuff like "Kill Your Radio" written on my jacket. That was just like the name of like a lame, was an okay little sampler like punk compilation. But I was like, that's neat. I wrote that on the arm of my jacket. Well, like Ivan had like "Kill the Pope" on his jacket, and it turned out the principal was Catholic. It was just like,
oh yeah.
Sorry about that, but remember this is like, this is back when we still had Pope John Paul, so you'd always see him up there with, Reagan or whoever. Like, I don't know why he even had that, but I don't know. I'm sure he was just trying to be.
I mean, at that age,
Ivan had come from a very religious family, and when he broke away from, how it is when the people when they first get out of religion, they go hardcore.
Oh yeah, when I was 18, I was hardcore.
Yeah, so it just gets a little. It's as bad as somebody when they first hardcore get into religion. It's that same like where everybody's just like.
Yeah, I was like, I should make this whole class at Sneed mad. Like I should raise my hand and actually make everyone angry.
Yeah. But
I lucked out with that. Our school, they didn't really pay attention to what we wore too much. It was mostly about the short shorts. So like, there were a few times that they. Some of our shirts were too offensive or whatever, but I remember I wore this casualty shirt, which, by the way, I would not wear any of their shirts now, that said "all across this fucking world" on the top, and no one paid enough attention to me to notice that it actually said "fuck" on the shirt, Boaz was a good school. I really got no complaints about that.
I kind of liked that grunge helped us a lot because everybody kind of came together because of that. Because like stuff like Pearl Jam's not going to help, but like stuff like Nirvana that opened up the way for other people. Green Day was coming in right when I was going out, so people were starting to listen to other stuff. There was Christian kids who got into MXPX. So instead of them all being like "you're evil," they're going, "tell me more about this punk rock." So they'd be like, "I like the Ramones too," because they'd listen to MXPX and they go, "What else is punk rock?" And they listen to the Ramones, And then I'd play them Crass, and then they'd be like, "Please don't do that."
Because I remember Tooth and Nail Records was like a big thing coming up around like MXPX time, and I actually didn't have cable television. So
no, I didn't.
The only music I could watch on TV was Still Roots, which was on the Christian channel.
Yeah.
And it was mostly like Tooth and Nail bands and like so it's like Five Iron Frenzy, MXPX, Slick Shoes, Me Without You, Norma Jean.
I think that's where just about everybody in this area, from Gadsden through Boaz, where most of them got their start.
Yeah, music. It's pretty interesting, and it's cool how big of an impact it made.
We had an asshole who came through Pell City called Billy Mayo. And he came to our school.
His name's Mayo.
Mayo. That's the Mayonnaise man.
That is the Mayonnaise man?
In Saturday Night Mind Control.
Oh, I knew it. I was hoping it was.
Billy Mayo came to my junior high, Duran Junior High in Pell City.
Duran Junior High?
Yeah, that would have been awesome. But no, he said that like all pop music was evil, and the version he gave at the school was not that crazy. It was still bad. It was crazy, but he didn't work so much religion into it. But he went to Ivan's church and said all sorts of crazy shit. And his mom bought all the cassettes. So he had all these cassettes of his thing there. And he'd play songs backwards, play the backwards masking. But here's the thing. Those cheap-ass tapes that he gave us, one of them flipped. And it played backwards. The tape played backwards. So we're listening to Billy Mayo play backwards, right? So when the songs that he was playing backwards were played backwards, they should have been playing forward. But they didn't sound right. So he had changed them.
Oh.
And here's the fun part. We kept listening, getting a kick out of it, right? But at one point, it goes, 666 3D movie. And it was Billy Mayo doing one of his yelling. Because he'd be like, and then, they, and it was him going, 666 3D movie.
It's the best sample ever of that for the future.
But that's why, the tape ate itself up shortly after that. We're like, no! But that's what Saturday Night Mind Control was about. Like our song, that was about him. He's trying to sell T-shirts. All these in junior high, everybody bought the shirts. He was like a rock star there, and he'd tell the story like, I had made it, like I was at the top, but my life was nothing. We were playing Holiday Inns, and it's just like, why would you use that as your story? Like this
Holiday Inns.
the peak of success. We were playing a Holiday Inn. Like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, because I walked in here one day for practice and I saw, like, lyrics that said the Mayonnaise Man, and I was like, that's got to be Adam's lyrics, right? Like, that's hilarious.
Billy Mayo, because I would call him Billy Mayonnaise. I didn't care about music that much in junior high. Like, I'd listen to, like, soundtracks and shit. I couldn't find good music yet. And I'd just bother all the other kids. I'd be like, Billy Mayonnaise! And they'd be like, shut up, man, he's cool. It's like, no, he isn't. Like, I didn't even listen to music. I was like, this guy's a dork. Like, what's he talking about?
Was he in a band? Am I just, like, completely unaware of?
No, he was in a band at one time. It was nothing. No, he wasn't. He literally was not in a band that was worth whatever. So he made his bread going around telling everybody about the evils of music, which was that was a very good way to make money in the 80s.
Oh yeah, snake oil salesman.
Yeah, that's what he did. He just always pulled that kind of stuff, and he seemed like he was around. I don't know how maybe he might not have been around that much. Maybe he just made a massive impact when he first showed up. That's when the cassettes came around. Everybody talked about it. I didn't get into music until maybe the beginning of high school. May have been the end of junior high.
Oh, really?
When I got, I had heard Faith No More's The Real Thing album. That's the first one, Mike Patton. That's the one where he sings nasally through the whole thing. And it's produced really weird, but it sounded really big and neat at the time. And it was very unusual. So I always liked heavy music. And I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. And I heard that, and I went to the store with Ansel and Jason and so the guy Mark West, R.I.P. And we all went with, like, their mom, Ansel and Jason's mom. And I did not know how to shop for music. I didn't know how it worked. So I'm like, I want to buy some of this Faith No More. I'm going to purchase some Faith No More. So I went over to the cassette tapes, because that's where we were at that time. Cassette tapes. The CDs were too expensive. And I just, like, I guess you buy the earliest one first.
Yes.
You know, you don't go watch Jaws 3 before Jaws 1. So I'm like, I guess that's what you do. So I just went and looked at the backs and found, like, all right, this one's from 1985, so I'll get it. So we're in the car ride home, and they're like, hey, can I look at your cassette, man? And Mark West looks at the thing, and he goes, oh, this is back when Chuck Mosley was a singer. I was like, bands can change fucking singers? What? Oh, no. What have I done? What is this? Holy shit. So I bought the thing. I mean, I'd already bought it. I took it home, listened to it. Actually, Jason asked, like, you want us to play it? And Ansel leaned in my ear and was like, don't let him put it in the player in the car. It's going to eat your tape. And I was like, okay, I'll just wait till we get home. And I got home and listened to it. And that first Faith No More album, it's still very much in the post-punk vein, but it mixes in, like, post-punk and punk and a little bit of rap and metal, like, because they got a metal guitarist play on there, so that's like my intro to everything. So that's the reason why you hear me talking about Chuck Mosley so much, because I mean, this dude, I kid you not, it's like not just like, oh, this podcast wouldn't be happening if it weren't for him. So don't blame him for that, but not just that, but like I am dead serious when I think there's a good chance I would not be alive if it weren't for me finding their music. Yeah,
there was a specific, like, time. Of course, for me, the first punk band I heard was Blink-182.
Yeah.
And all my friends, and we just found each other. We're like, hey, we all like Blink-182. In school, I was in middle school.
I still got their I still have their split with Swindle. It has Lemmings on it.
Oh,
Ivan got it for me because we always called everybody else Lemmings. He's like, Lemmings. Of course, I didn't really like the song very much. I mainly listened to the Swindle side, but.
Yeah, I think it was actually in, like, 4th or 5th grade. Remember, What's My Age Again came out. Like, that year, we got into them. And then we got obsessed with them. And then, of course, I found out about MXPX and, Green Day. And then through them, the Ramones, the Clash, and everything.
Yeah.
And then my friend at church was actually like, have you ever seen the movie SLC Punk? And I was like, no. And he's like, go rent it from Blockbuster. I was like, all right. And then, like...
You're like, what the hell happened to Shaggy?
Yeah, I know. We, like, put it in. And then at the end of the movie, like, Brandon and I, like, looked at each other. And we were just like... this is what we're meant to do. The rest of our lives is this. So it kind of cemented the fact, Yeah. And then I got into the Clash after that, which was just like a whole new world. But yeah.
See, Green Day, we thought if you hear Green Day at one time, you could hear somebody saying they're distinctive and they're going to come out and they're going to become big and popular. Me and a lot of my friends had no clue that Blink was going to blow up. the way they did. Because I mean, it really was like I think What's My Age Again was just enough of like almost a novelty single, which I actually think is the only song that's vaguely listenable to me. But they're other, but like prior to that, like it just they weren't bad, but they were just kind of there, and it's like there were other bands that sounded like them, similar to them. And I remember talking to Rapid Randy, and he was like, I heard that they got the Aquabats drummer. And I'm like, well, they're a ska band, so maybe their drumming's going to be like way better. Like it's going to, again, of course that's Travis Barker back then, you know. And now, like I remember thinking of it that way, and now you just think like, oh, enough of the Travis Barker.
Yes, the remixes.
Did he crash another plane? Shut the fuck up! Stop.
Yeah, it's crazy to me, and I do remember like specifically like my cousin was always older than me, and he actually is the one who introduced me to NoFX. But yeah, I was like Boxcar Racer album come out, and he came up to me and he's like, "Let me listen to that," and I like played him the like acoustic sad song on that, and he was just like. And then he went to my first punk song. He's like, "This is better. This is a little bit better." You know, I got no dick. You know, like that was funny. So then he just handed me "The Process of Belief" by Bad Religion because it had just come out.
I was gonna say that's better.
And I'd never heard it, and I was like,
"That's a lot better."
You know, so
well, here's the thing, and I always want to stress this. I'm a little bit older than you pups. There's gonna be people my age that always act like punk rock sucks now. They're just whiny little wimps. And I want to point out that everybody my age had to hear the same thing from older punks. And it was just like, because they're like, I mean, it was still like Green Day, and I didn't listen to Green Day, but it was like Offspring, and I liked Offspring. Listen, Offspring are fantastic until you hear the people that they're ripping off, and then you go, oh wait, those guys are way better than Offspring. I can throw away all my Offspring records now. I didn't really listen to much of what was like contemporary punk rock then. I was listening to old punk rock back then. Like, so I was listening to like early stuff and like early hardcore and things like that in the 90s. And I listened to like Nirvana and stuff, but I didn't really listen to much out of grunge. I didn't listen to much besides Nirvana. And
Nirvana and Silverchair were it for me.
I couldn't even do Silverchair. I was like, no. So, but the thing is this is why I want to remind people. See, a big popular T-shirt when I was a teenager was "Punk's not dead, it just sucks now."
Yeah.
Playing off of the old Exploited, "Punk's not dead," but the thing is all these guys who are going to like, listen to this shitty little like they were just dorks who bought Rancid albums from Kmart. And it's like, no, it's like you can't act like a badass and pick on the other kids when all you're doing is listening to Rancid. Now, I'm not trying to be mean about Rancid, but I'm saying like don't be trying to play that harder core than thou, better than you. It's all just music. I mean, you guys have terrible taste in music, but I still hang out with y'all.
Yeah, like there was
it's like constantly evolving, and like I got into like the contemporary punk. You know, when I first started listening to punk, like Jesse, Blink 182, and I mean stuff like Good Charlotte and stuff, which I don't really like. That
I didn't even count them as like, punk rock. I'm just like, that is not.
Yeah, but it's like
the lowest was Bowling for Soup.
That's like what got me. That's what got me into punk, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it's like later on, I started getting into like the older stuff, like Misfits and Black Flag and stuff.
You go back and find it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's what it's going to be for
everybody.
For everybody, and for the people that are just now getting into punk and stuff. They're going to listen to what's coming out now, and then maybe later they'll come back and listen to that old stuff. So.
Exactly.
I think it was Mark from Blink-182 that said we're like Fisher Price punk band, like my first punk band, and then you get into other bands after you hear us. But there was like specifically like what you're talking about, the whole like punk's dead thing. One thing that bothered me, like I was watching American Hardcore, one of my favorite DVDs, like documentaries, and they talk about how punk died in the 80s, like a few of the guys in there, and I'm like, come on. Like,
punk died in the 70s too.
Yeah, apparently punk always dies.
No, if you go by like the British ideal, like when it was a pop phenomenon, a lot of them would say it died around about the time Sid Vicious died.
Yeah.
Like they say, well, that's a good marking point because they consider post-punk to be a separate thing. That's why I've always hated when, and I'm not knocking the New York scene, but when people talk about the early New York scene, they'd say like, it's so much more, they were so much more broad and had so many more different sounds, and they weren't just rigid like the British punk scene was. And I was like, well, the difference with the British punk scene is when they expanded, they just changed the names of what they were doing. They just stopped calling it punk. But it's like, you can't be like, well, the Damned never evolved. The Damned evolved like everything. You can't say, I mean, you could be like, well, the Sex Pistols, they never really evolved. It's like, yeah, but Public Image Limited is not the Sex Pistols.
Yeah, that's fantastic stuff.
That ain't Sex Pistols, and that's but a lot of those bands did that, that's, so they evolved, but when they evolved, the music press over there didn't say, this is the new punk rock, or listen to this punk rock thing. Whereas New York, they're like calling everything punk rock that was from that scene.
Yeah, and I definitely believe that you can't kill something that is like a spirit like that.
Exactly. Well, like punk rock died right about the time everybody got into punk rock. Yeah. Like, what the hell? No, that doesn't make any damn sense, because most people didn't hear punk rock until like 79 or 80. Like that, the older crowd, a lot of them didn't have a way to get to it.
Yeah, that's why I always like that. I think there's a song by some band that opened up for Rancid in Atlanta, but they had with Punk's Not Dead, It Just Smells Funny.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite take on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's just constantly evolving. It's not the same as it was back in the when it first started. And it's going to keep on changing. And
definitely, and certain trends come back and forth and back and forth, just like with everything. As far as punk goes, like you'll hear like, oh, this part of punk is coming back, like out of nowhere.
So, punk is officially dead.
So we just killed it with this podcast.
Yeah, we should wrap up this podcast. Punk rock is dead.
Would you like to mention anything about where to send stuff or GADFest 3 before we sign off?
GADFest 3 will be on October 27th at Sidetracks Music Hall. There will also be that day the Rocket City Punk Rock Flea Market. So that's a very good, lots of fun thing to do.
Andy looks like he needs to say something.
If you need a haircut, go visit our friend Brad Norris at the Moxie Salon in downtown Gadsden, and go to Cosmic Debris, which is also located in downtown Gadsden.
Yes, Moxie Salon is great. I've got my hair cut there plenty of times, and they've done whatever ridiculous thing I asked them to do. Like, it's been fantastic. Awesome fades.
I've driven by there, but they're super nice.
I had one of them specifically help me grow out this it's like a V fade. Grow out this like pig. This is like a rat tail, but my curly hair turns into like a pig's tail.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
awesome.
It's a pigtail. It's not a pigtail.
It's like an actual pig's tail.
It was a hoggy follow.
Yeah. It looked like a curly Q. Yeah. Nice. So, Cosmic Degree is not only great for records. You've got the owner who's hilarious and a lot of fun.
You can buy him.
Yeah, you can buy him. Ask him how much.
He works cheap. Yeah. If you'd like to have anything reviewed for the zine, or if you'd like to turn in any anything for us to publish in the zine, then you can find us on Facebook. Message us there. Just look for GAD on Facebook, and you'll find it's a thing that looks like a punk rock zine. And you can also you can snail mail it. That's like through a postal worker carrying it to Post Office Box 1308. That's in Gadsden, Alabama, 35902. Oh, 02. Yeah, that's nice. And then it cost me a little extra to get that 02. So yeah, we like getting stuff in the mail. That's also the mailbox for Tiger Helicide. So if you want to send nice stuff to GAD, you can send it there. If you want to send like a bunch of weird pictures and crazy shit to Tiger Helicide,
yeah, just send us whatever, man.
Send us we'll take fan mail.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to send stuff
hate mail, that sounds fun too.
Yeah, that's true. If you want to send stuff to GADcast, you want to ask us questions, you can mail it to us, or you can send it to email, which is the email is gadpunk. That's GADPUNK @gmail.com. So gadpunk@gmail.com. And it's really easy to send us lots of crazy shit there. And if you have any questions you want to ask us, we will read them on this thing, probably, or not. But if it's a good question, we will. and we'll even possibly answer it.
And definitely start commenting on the YouTube podcast posts, because I will figure out how to respond to them, and it sounds like it would be fun.
And we will try to get the podcast up somewhere other than YouTube.
Yeah,
That's our
yeah.
goal, but
Those tyrants at YouTube, fucking fascists. So yeah, when we can we'll put it up everywhere. We're eventually gonna have it where it just shows up on your little brother's Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have Benedict Cumberbatch do an audio version of our podcast himself, every episode. All right, well, I guess that's about it. Any final thoughts?
No.
No. All right, well, Gadcast out.